Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another one of Emma's vlogs. So I'll show you guys an average week for her. She got a bench press PR, so that's 130 on her first one, and then she managed to go up 5 more pounds to get 135. This is her first time doing this, with a wider grip on a straight bar. So again, she's come a long way. And again, thinner women benching 135 with a pause, I'll take it, considering she just pulled 300 recently. And actually, coming up in her next block, we're going to test her conventional deadlift again. We're going to see where it's at. So this block is going to be very consistent with what you guys have seen the last week or two. We are making some changes to her supplemental work coming up, which you guys will see in the next set of vlogs. But this is pretty well what you guys saw last time. The only real changes, significant changes, have been the max effort work, which again, as you guys know, on Conjugate, we rotate those every single week. We rotate them every week. So she did floor presses afterwards, and we'll be rotating those out. She did chins, which she gets a chin PR later in this week. She managed to get 7 reps on a chin up, full range of motion. Again, a lot of women out there set a goal of getting 1 chin up oftentimes. She's up to 7 from a dead hang. So again, we're getting pretty impressive. For her max effort lower this week, we did a box squat with mini bands, right? Box squat with mini bands. And we squat on a 12-inch box for her, which puts her below parallel, right? So I usually have her squat below parallel. We do deep squats. She's got good hip mobility. There's no reason for us not to do it. So her ME and DE work, we go relatively deep, as you guys can see there, well below parallel. And again, I really want to get her squat up. So later in the week, we worked a little bit on getting that stance out. So she did Romanian deadlift. She got 170 for sets of 10 this week. And then they stalled later in the week and she couldn't get any further. So what do we do when that happens? What do? We rotate the lift out, right? And I anticipated that this week, and something I already told her when we were chatting in Messenger. She's like, yeah, it stalled today. And when she got over to the stuff that she sent me today, which is why I'm doing the vlog now for the dynamic effort lower, and I'm like, yep, I've already written your new block, and we're going to be rotating it out. And then she did, of course, her wide stance power type good mornings using a safety squat bar again. And notice her stance is very, very wide. We're doing this because we really need to build her adductors and hips up. Because for her, we've got to get that wide stance squat up. She has longer femurs. She's a longer leg lifter. She's fairly tall. So because of that, we need to get really powerful with those wide stance squats. But, we've been doing all this adductor work, and notice that her sumo shot way up. She was only deadlifting like 250 or something on the sumo a couple months ago, and it's already hit 300 on it. Normally, she's much stronger on the conventional. And like I said, we'll test her conventional coming up in a couple weeks. And then afterwards, we finish up with reverse hypers. So as you guys notice, her lower body work isn't super intensive. It's just enough. So we focus on, right now, RDLs, reverse hypers, and good mornings. And that's enough. I pulled some of her extra quad work. I don't feel like she needs split squats and stuff. Not right now. We want to keep working her posterior chain and hips. That's where we're going to see the most performance for her, and she needs to work on getting that squat stance out wider. But again, all of that's paying off. It's paying off on even her sumo deadlifts, and then we'll see how well it carries over to conventional coming up, because we've been working on her upper back and stuff more also. And as I've said previously, we do very, very high reps on her reverse hypers. We're using them for a lot of restoration. All right, speed bench. Her speed bench is getting good. She's getting pretty fast, right? Because we're running 50 pounds of band tension. So if you guys notice, those are Rogue Blue bands. We're running 50 pounds. Now her bench form is phenomenal. Of course, she's got a good arch. She's got really good flexibility. So she's got the flexibility to get a good arch. But notice that she has long arms, right? Because she's taller. So, she doesn't have that little short range of motion even with the big arch. But it's much safer for shoulders to get that arch. And I always remind people of that. Okay, up here, she gets her 7 reps on chins. And this was her last set of the week. And so it was the 6th set of the week. We do 3 sets on both days. She managed to get 7 reps. A little bit of swing in, but still from a dead hang, she got her chin over the bar. Like, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And again, anyone who's ever coached women realizes 7 full range of motion chins is no joke. Even for some guys, a lot of guys would be happy with that. Then of course we follow up with some dumbbell pressing afterwards. So again, usually we've got our speed bench, chins, then we have dumbbell pressing. And again, we're doing a lot of that because she needs more pectoral. Right, pecs have been limiting her. She was previously doing a lot of closed grip benching. That's what she preferred. I've been taking her grip out a little bit, and we're working on the weak points for that. She had been focusing a lot on overhead press. Now, in the near future, I might start working some overhead pressing back in for her. But coming up, I want to put some more incline work in. I want to keep her chest growing. So we've been doing floor presses and dumbbell presses for a little while. I want to rotate some of that around and hit the chest from a different angle. Again, so we avoid stagnation, we avoid overuse. So she did that. She does Pendlay rows. So that covers her lat movements. We have chins, we have Pendlay rows, right? Covers all her middle and upper back. And then I believe we did some side laterals. Nope, there's her triceps. So I have her doing dumbbell extensions. We rotate things like dumbbells and cables for her. Because again, she has dumbbells, she has cables. We need to keep the triceps growing. They're very important for pressing strength, and she cares about having a bench. She cares about her overhead press. She cares about having pressing strength. And I note a lot of the women who chime in are like, wow, I mean, she's fit, but she's not like big. It's like, well, we're trying to get her big, but this is what happens when advanced females who do not use anabolics, this is big. Right, this is someone on serious powerlifting with a lot of hypertrophy bodybuilding type volume. And she's been training a long time. Right? She has not just been working out a year or two. Okay. She's been training a real long time. So, and we've taken her up to, a couple levels since she came on. Her and her husband did, because I've been coaching her husband a long time. And we may do an interview. We talked about that. She and him were saying maybe we should do an interview so that viewers can get a little bit about her training history and kind of why she decided to come on and everything. It might be good to do a Zoom and put it up. So we do tricep work, and we always do some delt work. Because again, delts and shoulders are just very, very difficult for women to develop. And again, something women are oftentimes scared of. They'll say, I don't want to do a bunch of heavy overhead pressing and laterals, and oh my god, my shoulders will get big and jacked like this one bodybuilder, but they're on gear. Okay, it does not happen. It will never ever happen without it. It's not even possible. Don't let them tell you that they're natty. They're not. So then her speed boxes. So we started working today on her throughout the sets, trying to get wider, and at the end she managed to get to where her toes are at the edge of the rack. Because that's really where we need her to be. We need her to develop that wide stance strength. And notice how far back she can sit. Now that she's getting wide, look how far back she sits. Look at that knee angle. Okay, and she's able to do this now because we've been hammering those adductors. And we've been working her hips. Hips being the abductors and the adductors being the groin muscle. We've been working all that with a lot of this wide stance work, with sumo work, even the RDLs. And now she's able to do that. And again, then we did sumo speed pulls against bands. So she's able to do that now. And that's what's going to bring her squat up. Right? That also makes us more athletic. And that's something I try to get a lot of my athletes who don't power lift to grasp. That wide stance squatting is going to make you better at sports. It's going to give you better carryover out on a field. If you need to kick or you need to run and ever turn on a field, so even if you just play tennis or whatever, right? You play tennis at your club or whatever on the weekends. Wide stance is the way to go. Most of your squatting and things need to be that way. So again, for her, we're doing good mornings pretty wide stance. While we're building all that, we're working on it. And then if we need to give her hips a rest, we can rotate this stuff out. And they have the benefit of multiple bars. You guys have never seen the cambered bar so far, but she does have a cambered bar. They bought it a couple months ago when they were going over with me, hey, what equipment do we need to add? So we'll be adjusting some of these supplemental lifts though this coming week. So when the next vlog comes out, we're going to see some different movements in here. So because it might seem a little redundant today, it's like, well, the only thing that changed was the maxis. Yep. And then we change stuff up. And of course, as normal, we finish up with the reverse hypers. And you people know how I feel about the reverse hyper. I legitimately believe every gym that does not have a reverse hyper is basically criminally negligent. They're basically negligent. They don't care about the people at their gym, or they just don't know better, right? They don't know better, but they should know better if they run a gym. This is a mandatory piece of equipment. I think if you have a home gym, you should have one of these. It's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. It is worth every single penny. To be one of the first purchases you make. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.